I have a hot take on this situation. So, for those of you who may not know, Porsha is returning for it's either season 13 or 16 or something like that. She's returning for the upcoming new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. As we know, Tanya, I think her name is, or Sonia, whatever her name is, the Olympian, she was so boring. I don't even know what her name is, but she's not coming back. We know that Candy Burris is taking a pause. She says that she was asked back to the show, but she has decided not to come back. And I believe Phaedra is coming back. I believe, correct me on that if I'm wrong. Phaedra's been so booked and busy with Married to Medicine and The Traitors. I'm not sure if she's coming back to Rower or not. So check me on that, but I think she is. But we do know that Porsha's coming back, and we also know we have a couple of new peaches coming. Kenya will be back as well. We also know that Marlo is also not coming back. There had been speculation about whether or not NeNe was going to be asked back. I always said when hell freezes over, will Bravo or NBC or Andy Cohen give NeNe another chance to be on one of their shows. I just don't see that happening at all. And as far as we know, NeNe's not coming back. Now, I want to keep that in mind when we dive into this alleged beef between NeNe and Porsha. And then I'm going to tell you what I think is really going on. So let's read. This is from Radar Online, and it says leaked. Read NeNe leaks text about confronting Porsha Williams about her allegedly refusing to work with her in Upshaws. I have the leaked text, and we'll look at them. NeNe leaks confrontation with Porsha Williams about allegedly refusing to work with her on the set of The Upshaws is being exposed for all to see. The Real Housewives of Atlanta former co-stars didn't hold back while brawling back and forth in text messages that have since been leaked to Radar Online. As this outlet reported, leaks accused Williams of trying to sabotage her television career by allegedly telling Netflix producers she couldn't work with NeNe due to issues they have after discovering they were set to appear alongside each in the Mike Epps sitcom. Instead of coming to her Roa frenemy directly, Williams went behind her back to the show's bosses. In the end, Porsha was replaced with Cynthia Bailey. Leaks and Williams' heated conversation is now making the rounds with screenshot exposing their text war. The ex-Georgia Peach opened the chat by writing, "I am shocked to hear that we have issues and you didn't want to work with me. Wow, just wow." So is she doing a throwback to Ramona? Wow. Bethany, wow, just wow. Now let's see. These are the texts, so I'll read them out loud. NeNe then launched into how they've recently gone on double dates with Nyon Silasio, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, and Simon Gubadier, who Williams is currently divorcing. "This is sad," NeNe later wrote. "We are Black women that need to work, not stopping each other from working." Porsha immediately responded by accusing leaks of failing to reach out to her after she filed for divorce from Simon last month. "And this is your first text? How, who, and how the F do you not check on your little sis?" she replied. Porsha continued by claiming NeNe had already taken a side in her breakup with Simon, adding she was good with that. Porsha told NeNe that she's shown loyalty time and time again. "I've also shown concern and genuine love during all of your hardships, but I never get it back," she continued. "It's cool, though. When people move differently, so do I." Listen. Let me finish this, and then I also have the video of NeNe talking about it herself, too. So Porsha goes on to say that her response didn't sit well with NeNe. "You are wrong in every way. You went extremely too far," NeNe wrote back. "Nothing you are saying is valid enough to go to her production company and say you don't want to work with NeNe because she has issues in the past." NeNe concluded by addressing Williams' divorce. "As far as Naomi and Simon are concerned, they have their own relationship, and I have nothing to do with that," she told Porsha before the screenshot of the text message cut off. So Naomi is the guy that NeNe that's her on again, off again boyfriend. I guess they're on again. Simon Gubadier, as we know, is the big fraud, probably being deported. Fallon's ex-husband that Porsha happily stole. Okay. So let's hear it from NeNe's mouth herself. And then I'm going to tell you guys what I think is actually going on with this whole situation. Because I think there's something else going on that they're not actually saying. Okay.
I am shocked to hear that Porsha would go to a production company and say that she doesn't want to work with me because we've had a lot of issues in the past. What lots of issues that we had in the past. Mind you guys, I haven't been a housewife in over 4.5 years, okay? Besides that, as black women, okay, when you call a black woman angry, difficult, we've got problems, I can't work with them on set, that is a death trap for a black woman in the industry. We don't have any issues that we can't work together. We are professionals. We get on set and we work together and do what we got to do. Your issues in the past, if you had to pick a housewife, it certainly wouldn't be with me. It would have been with Kenya. It would have been with Candy. Those were your major issues. We've had petty things. We're on a reality show. So we obviously are going to have some sort of issues, but we've not had anything where we could not work together. I'm sad and disappointed that Porsha would go to any company and say that she's had issues with me and we cannot work together. That is a lie. I text her. So it's not like I'm doing this video, I didn't text her. I text her. And she sent me a text back saying that she's going through her divorce and I didn't reach out to little sis. Are you serious? You and your husband were just happy and smiling in Dubai. I thought you guys were having a fight and maybe you guys are going to get back together. I don't know what y'all personal business are. I don't want to be nosy, okay? I don't want to invade your privacy. Maybe you need some time. I don't know what you need. I was happy to see her and talk to her and chop it up then. I don't want to pry. Yes, Yanni and Simon are hanging out together, but that has nothing to do with me. I'm not hanging out with Simon. Yanni's hanging out with Simon. I can't change this relationship.
Okay. NeNe and Porsha are both actresses, but they ain't good enough to be true actresses to fool me for one hot damn minute that this little feud is real. This is the fakest feud I have heard in my life. This feud to me is very, very similar to what they tried to do at the Real Housewives of Orange County. And let me break it down. Remember how allegedly there was a feud with the Tres Amigas? So the Tres Amigas is Tamra Judge, Shannon Bedore, and Vicki Gunvalson, right? And how all of a sudden, Vicki and Shannon were beefing with Tamra and they broke up the Tres Amigas and they were fighting and it's this big battle back and forth and blah, 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 blah. And Tamra doesn't want to be with them anymore. I always said that was a fake feud. They were trying to manufacture drama, AKA storyline, to get Vicki back full time on the Real Housewives of Orange County. To me, this is the same exact situation. I think that Porsha and NeNe have no beef, have no feud. I don't even think this really happened. And I'm going to tell you why I think she's saying it happened too. I think that they're trying to get NeNe back on this season of Roa. And I think that they're trying to make it like Porsha and NeNe have this huge off-camera feud. You know, Simon and Leonie, they're friends, and Portia's divorcing Simon and blah, 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 blah. And now her and NeNe are going at it. I think they're trying to manufacture drama, feuds, and storylines to get NeNe back on the show for next season because she clearly hasn't been asked back yet. I can smell a fake feud a mile away, and this screams fake. Number one, why is NeNe talking about it now when NeNe was the one who got the role and it was Porsha was the one who was recast with Cynthia Bailey? I think Porsha was recast either due to scheduling conflict, maybe contractual conflicts, whether it was an NBC conflict with a Netflix, with scheduling, or something along those lines. And I think the reason why NeNe has the green light to talk about what allegedly happened with the Upshaws and Netflix, I think that is nothing but a PR marketing stunt. Because until NeNe got on her little TikTok or Instagram or X or whatever the hell she's on, spewing this lie, in my personal opinion, raise your hand if you knew that NeNe was on the Upshaws? Raise your hand if you knew the Upshaws, what the Upshaws were. Raise your hand if you watch the Upshaws on Netflix. Raise your hand. Nobody knew. Maybe some people know, maybe some people don't, but I don't think anybody really was checking for NeNe and Cynthia Bailey on the Upshaws like that. But do you notice how when she comes out with this, she has a very clear script? The scripted television shows The Upshaws on Netflix. To me, and trust me, I've done a lot of sponsored campaigns in my day, and the brand always gives you certain keywords you have to use. Make sure you say the name of the show. Make sure you say the platform that it's on. Make sure you say it's scripted. You know what I mean? I'm like, girl, you have all your key points to it. Nobody knew this. And there was really no reason to even bring it up because it's not like you lost the job. You got the job, NeNe. You're the one on the show with your BFF, Cynthia. You got the job. So why are you talking about this now? Remember, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in conspiracy. I think the reason why now she's coming out with this alleged story, maybe it's an embellished story, maybe it's completely fabricated. I think a couple of things. Number one, PR and marketing for the show Upshaws. We're all talking about it now. Now we know her and Cynthia are on it. Now we know it's on Netflix, all of this, that, and the third. And also because of casting for Roa. And as we all know, the girls, and by the girls, I mean all of the girls on all of the franchises, we know this. Prior to filming, they always get together and say, what are we going to talk about? What are the storylines are going to be? What are we going to expose? I think this is Porsha, because I think Porsha and NeNe are in a really good place. And I think this is them trying to get NeNe cast on the upcoming season. It didn't work when Vicky and Tamara and Shannon tried to do it in the OC, and I don't think it's going to work with NeNe for Roa. But that's where I kind of land with this because the story doesn't make any sense to me. First of all, say what you want to say about Porsha. I don't see why Porsha would say to producers of the Upshaws or Netflix producers, I don't want to work with NeNe because we've had issues in the past. That just doesn't make any sense. Like there was no true beef between Porsha and NeNe. And I also don't see Porsha doing that because I don't see Porsha thinking she had enough power that would ultimately stop her own bag. She might do it on like a Ricky Smiley show, but I don't see her or her team doing that with like a Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like she knows who she can kind of stunt on and who she can't stunt on. And I don't see Porsha and her team stunting on Netflix. You know, I don't think she's that crazy. you see what I'm saying? So to me, this just smells like fake drama, fake feud, fake story. Porsha trying to get her friend NeNe back on the show and NeNe trying to get back on the show. That's just what this gives to me because it doesn't make any sense. I could see it if NeNe actually got blackballed and Netflix was like, we're not going to hire you because of what Porsha said. Again, that still doesn't make any sense. Porsha doesn't have any pull. She would just be another hired actress to be on the show. You know, whether it's like a cameo or like a reoccurring or like a guest spot, Porsha wouldn't have enough pull on this show to get NeNe kicked off the show. Doesn't make any sense. It's not like she's an executive producer or a writer or a director. She would just be another guest star, the same way NeNe and Cynthia are guest stars on the show. So the story itself doesn't make sense. What does make sense? This is a PR and marketing. Now we're talking about the Upshaws. Now we're talking about the show being on Netflix. Now we're talking about NeNe and Cynthia and Porsha being on the show. Well, Porsha was supposed to be, but she's not. You know, now there would be a potential storyline for NeNe to come back. Beefing with Porsha. Her boyfriend is friends with Porsha's estranged, almost soon to be divorced ex-husband. What does that drama look like, right? You see what I'm saying? I think it's a failed attempt, but I see through the attempt. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think, no, Candy, this is a real beef between NeNe and Porsha, one that we didn't see coming because it didn't exist? To me, the story doesn't make any sense. But I want to know what you guys think. And do you want NeNe back? Do you want NeNe to come back for the upcoming season, or do you think she burned too many bridges with Bravo and NBC and Andy Cohen to come back to Roa? What do you guys think? Put it down below. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. All right, now let's move on to our next story. All right, you guys, this one's gonna be a doozy. So I want to go through Vanderpump Rules, but through the lens of Ariana versus all of the women. All of the ladies.